There was a time when empire had to build its distractions out of stone. It lifted arches into the sky, it carved power into marble, it filled the air with noise, dust, iron, blood. In Rome, the arena was not just entertainment, it was ritual. It was theater. It was a machine for managing the public soul. The people entered thinking they were there to watch a fight, but something else was happening beneath the roar. Their attention was being captured. Their emotions were being directed. Their hunger was being fed just enough to keep them from looking too closely at the empire above them, the rot in the ruling class, the strain in the system, the quiet drift of a civilization losing its center. That was the genius of the old arena. It did not need to solve the deeper problems, it only needed to keep the people staring downward. And that is why this matters now, because the Colosseum did not disappear, it evolved. It became smaller, smarter, more intimate. It no longer stands in the center of the city. It glows in the palm of your hand. It waits beside your bed, it rides in your truck, it sits with you at dinner, it follows you into silence. It is the first light many people see in the morning, and the last one they kneel before at night. It does not call itself an arena. It calls itself connection. It calls itself entertainment. It calls itself news. But beneath all those names, it is still doing what the arena always did. This is the Pocket Colosseum. In the old world, you had to walk into the spectacle. In this world, the spectacle wakes up before you do. Before your mind has gathered itself, before your spirit has remembered its own weight, before your feet even touch the floor, the gates are already opening. A scandal, a war clip, a woman dancing, a man screaming, a politician performing outrage, a public humiliation, a celebrity collapse, a headline engineered to strike fear before breakfast, a flash of lust, a burst of envy, a dose of anger, a stream of noise, and just like that, the mind is pulled into the arena before the day has even begun. The lions are digital now. The blood is reputational now. The gladiators are influencers, celebrities, politicians, activists, victims, fools, and ordinary people thrown into the sand for the crowd to consume. But the ritual is the same. The crowd still gathers, the crowd still points, the crowd still cheers, the crowd still devours. That is the first truth of the Pocket Colosseum. It is not merely taking your time, it is training your instincts. It is shaping your nervous system. It is teaching you what deserves your attention, what should outrage you, what should excite you, what should tempt you, what should frighten you, and how quickly your mind should move before it reaches for the next hit. It is reducing silence until stillness feels unnatural. It is reducing thought until reaction feels like wisdom. It is reducing depth until stimulation feels like life. And while the people stare into the glow, deeper things begin to disappear. Memory disappears. Stillness disappears. Discernment disappears. Depth disappears. A man can know the actress in the latest series and still not know who his civilization is really at war with. He can recognize the face, the scandal, the trend, the slogan, the performance, but not the structure behind it. Not the interests, not the incentives, not the machinery, not the systems shaping what rises, what spreads, what becomes sacred, what becomes ridiculous, what becomes untouchable, and what disappears before it can even be named. He knows the spectacle. He does not know the empire. That is why the Pocket Colosseum is more dangerous than the old Roman one. Rome's arena distracted the crowd for a few hours. This one follows them all day. Rome gave one spectacle to the masses. This one builds a private spectacle for every soul. Rome gathered people together in one place. This one isolates them in millions of separate chambers. Each person fed a custom stream of temptation, outrage, fear, vanity, grief, and tribal combat. It is not just an arena. It is an ecosystem of attention. A portable empire stage. A machine that learns your weakness and then feeds it back to you as habit. And that is where the warning becomes serious. Empires do not only fall when enemies storm the gates. They fall when the people within them lose the discipline required to remain a people. They fall when comfort replaces duty, when stimulation replaces meaning, when performance replaces character, when identity becomes theater, when citizens slowly become spectators of their own decline and mistake constant reaction for real participation. Rome did not decay because people enjoyed games. Rome decayed because spectacle could live beside corruption, exhaustion, division, and civic decline for so long that the people stopped seeing the decline clearly. The arena became cover. The cheers became camouflage. The celebration became the mask, worn by weakness. And now the same shadow moves again. Not in the exact same form, not with the same names, but with the same underlying pattern. A civilization overwhelmed by images. a population flooded with stimulation, a people emotionally activated but structurally disoriented, a nation that can tell you the scandal of the week but not the forces shaping the age. That is the deeper darkness of the Pocket Colosseum. It does not just distract. It converts reality into spectacle. War becomes content. Corruption becomes content. Suffering becomes content. Collapse becomes content. Everything is flattened into something to scroll, react to, argue over, monetize, meme, and forget. And once a people begins consuming its own decay as entertainment, it becomes very difficult to know whether they are still awake at all. Because reaction is not power, attention is not understanding, emotional involvement is not self-government. That is the illusion. The screen makes people feel close to everything while understanding almost nothing. It gives the sensation of participation while draining the substance of agency. It keeps the mind fragmented, the emotions burning, the will exhausted. And a population does not need chains when it can be overstimulated. It does not need total censorship when it can be drowned in noise. It does not need open conquest when it can be hollowed from within. So the real war is deeper than politics. It is a war over attention, a war over memory, a war over inner sovereignty, a war over whether a civilization can still produce human beings capable of silence, judgment, sacrifice, and clear sight. That is why the name matters, the Pocket Colosseum, because once you name it, you can finally see it for what it is. Not a harmless little device, not just a toy, not just a tool, but a modern arena, personalized, portable, permanent, keeping the crowd emotionally occupied while deeper powers move above them. And every empire has always known the same secret. If you can keep the people staring into the spectacle, they may never look up long enough to see what is being built over their heads. Follow @Argumentor for the next chapter.